Oh, hi. Hey, what's up? Okay, so wait, what did you want to hear? Okay, so I was working in a bar. In this bar, we were um we were closed. It was probably about like 2:57, 3:30, and I'd been drinking Sparks, and a lot of them, like I don't know, probably about 6 Sparks, and I kept on thinking that like if I had another Sparks, the caffeine content in it was going to like counteract all the alcohol in it, but it just doesn't happen. It just makes you black out and get nuts. And so I get this call from my friend, and she was wondering where I was because I didn't tell her that I was working that day, and her birthday was actually her birthday party rather. Her birthday was much earlier, but her birthday party was happening that night. She wanted me to come up there, and so I'm like, rad, all right, excellent, cool. I'm drunk and I'm done with work, and it's like creeping up on 4 o'clock in the morning. Why not go to a birthday party? And and so I asked her to text me the place where she lived, and all I saw in the text messages was 21st Street, and I remembered that she lived on 21st Street, and so I was like, oh, okay, so it's the same place, right? So anyway, I get a cab up there. So when I had lots of money and had money for cabs, I didn't bike up there. I took a cab, and so I get there, and I call her, and she didn't answer. And I assumed that she was just drunk and hanging out in the kitchen or whatever. So I go up to the door and I ring the doorbell. And it was an apartment building, so there was like 4 or maybe I think 3, maybe just 2. But yeah, it was just 2. And I assumed it was the second one, but they weren't numbered. So I hit 2, like the top one, just naturally, and nobody answers. And so I hit it again. And then I, like, obviously, like somebody in my state would, just like go outside and start yelling her name. And I just started screaming her name, which would be off the record. And, excuse me. So I started screaming her name and nothing happens. I think I picked up some rocks and maybe even tried to throw them, but there's a terrace. Not a terrace, but like a second roof, like on a row home. And so I decided, obviously, the best course of action, obviously, is to climb in. I'm going to be like the friend that nobody knows who knocks on the window and just like comes in at 3:30 in the morning. At this point, excuse me, comes in really late. Nobody knows. It's like, oh, who's that wacky guy? And I'm banging on the window and nobody's answering. I keep banging on the window and nobody's answering. And and so I start pulling up the screen because I think that I'm just gonna break in and then like show up at the party and act like everything's cool. And suddenly the lights go on inside the house. I'm just like, oh, awesome, they're here. Oh, great. And and there's this woman there that I've never seen before in my life on the phone who looks very angry and terrified and says, and it just like, I'm on the phone with the cops right now. And I, in this fit of Spider-Man agility, this can only be gained through adrenaline, I freak the fuck out and start climbing down the banister because I'm terrified that the cops are going to be calling me. So I go downstairs. I started screaming at her. I was just like, no, my friend used to live here. She must have moved. And I go downstairs. I run like 6 blocks and then light a cigarette and get on the phone and just pretend I'm talking on the phone. A cop car goes by me and does a little like whoop whoop. And I look over at him just like, and he looks at me real quick and realizes that, I'm just a guy talking on the phone, smoking a cigarette, and he's cool with it. And so then I go on my way. I make my way to her apartment, and then after I get there, it's like everybody's kind of winding down. It actually is a pretty lame party, and everybody there pretty much sucks except for her. And and anyway, like, so we go to sleep, and hey, what's up? And we we probably watched like an episode of some like HBO Dexter or something. I don't know. I forget what happened, but anyway, we wake up in the morning and start getting it on. I mean, there's really I don't know how to transition that. So and yeah, so right, I have to tell you, we did I forgot to mention all the sparks I drank. I did mention it, but I forgot to really like pound that home. So we're getting it on. You know what happens. You've done it. And, and, she, I guess, isn't on birth control. I know this isn't an approved method, but and also it was unprotected too. So I wasn't wearing a condom, and I pull out and, ejaculate, and I ejaculate with such a force that it all hits the wall, and it's orange. And I don't know if you ever drank Sparks, but Sparks is like the brightest orange color you can ever imagine. And it was the exact same color of my semen that all hit the wall, and it stayed there for a long time. And I kept it there, and then somebody else moved into the room and wiped it all off, and yeah, their own. But that's a story.